the budget discussions for Metro departments for our 2018 fiscal year. I'd like to recognize that we have Councilman at Large John Cooper with us. We also have Council Member Vercher with us back there. Thank you for joining us. Before we hear from our first department, I just want to take a moment and give some general comments about the process. As I said a few months ago, we're not going to be raising the certified property tax rate and beyond whatever is approved by the state after the countywide reassessment. We do anticipate that we will have new revenue as a result of all of the growth that is happening in Davidson County. But again, let me repeat that there will not be a tax increase. We need to make sure.
I'm sorry, Mayor, did you say there was not a tax increase?
Sorry, I don't want to bury the lead, okay? There will not be a tax increase. We need to ensure that our growth in Metro government is intentional, that it also meets the needs of our residents. That means hearing about possible new programs and expenditures that will benefit our residents, while also learning about reallocations of existing funds to be more effective in our programming. This year, we're also taking a different approach to our budget discussions by asking department heads to discuss any capital spending requests in addition to their normal operating budget requests. I think it's important to note that we are likely to hear more requests for funds over the coming days than we will have available revenue. Let me say that again. I think that we will absolutely hear for more requests for funds than we will have revenue for. So at the conclusion of our discussions, we'll be working to identify how we can most effectively and efficiently allocate those resource dollars that we have so that the taxpayers of Nashville have the most positive impact for our residents. So in a couple of weeks, we'll also hear presentations about cross-departmental collaboration and community partnerships that can provide some innovative and important new services. I want to thank Talia Lomax O'Neill and her team for putting all of this together. I also want to thank Rich Riebling, COO, for being with us today, and I'll turn it over to them in a second. But we're going to start our budget hearings today with Charlie Cardwell, our trustee. And I think it is absolutely appropriate to start with you, Mr. Cardwell. You are what I would call an icon and a fixture in Metro government. You have been the finance director, you have served in multiple capacities, and you have been with Metro government for a very long time. It is always an honor to speak with you. Your depth and breadth of history and knowledge never ceases to amaze me, and you as the trustee have done and continue to do just an amazing job for our community. So I say that and I thank you for that. I know that you have somebody with you that you will introduce, but I just, on behalf of Metro government, want to say thank you for your many, many years of service.
Mayor, thank you very much also. It's been a pleasure to have served and serving as long as I have been able to. And I want to thank Rich Riebling, Talia, because they've always been very supportive of what we do in this government, and that is very important. I have with me Pat Greer, who is the Deputy Trustee for Administration. Pat has been with me since I took over in 1993 as the trustee. Mayor, we are not asking for a huge increase in our budget this year. A couple of items. Our printing and postage, we're asking for roughly $5,000. We deal with the banks. Taxpayers can make payments at the bank at First Tennessee, and we're charged $1 per transaction. This past year, we had about 5,000 transactions. This year, we feel like it's going to be in excess of 7,500. So we're asking for additional $2,000 to support that expense. We have no capital improvements for our office at this time. What I would like to do is talk a few minutes about the tax relief and tax freeze.
Yeah, please.
That has been a great program this year with the help of the mayor's office and the community. Council members have been very supportive. We have made roughly 44 presentations, and also we've made 17 appointments to where we sent our staff out and took applications for the program. We've been able to reallocate our staff to where they can go out and work with the communities. We have been working with 50 Forward. We've gone to all 4 of their locations in Davidson County to help administer this program. We feel like that we will pick up probably another 1,000 taxpayers in this community because of the effort of the community as well as the mayor's office. And this is going to help a lot of individuals over the process of what's happening as far as the reappraisal program. These taxpayers that are on the program will continue to be as long as their income does not exceed the $41,660 as far as the tax freeze. The income level for the tax relief is $29,180. So we're working with these individuals throughout the county to make sure if they do qualify that they are on the program. Also with Metro Action, they have some money that helps taxpayers that cannot afford to pay all of their taxes. Now, there is an income level with those, just like it is with our programs, but we are working with Metro Action, and that is a good program to help some taxpayers in this community. I'll be glad to respond to any questions that you might have.
Sure. So, Trustee Cardwell, I know that we are approaching the end of the ability to freeze that the taxes. Could you just take a moment for the folks who are watching at home and just tell them a little bit about how they might enter into that program and what they might do to qualify?
Okay. The time limit is they have to be in by April the 5th.
Okay.
And what they will need to do is come to our office and bring certain information. We would need to know what their income is for 2015. That's what they would need to bring. If they are on Social Security, then we would need to know what that payment might be. We also have the program for the veterans, and that is April the 5th also. And basically, there's no income level for veterans. So if they are 100% disabled under the Veterans Administration guidelines, then they would qualify for that program.
So helping both our low income, our veterans, and our seniors stay in their housing.
Right. And we, each year we lose people on the program because they will sell their house and move to assisted living. And then we have people that die off. So
Sure.
It's up and down depending on the population at the time. This past year, we estimated that we would spend roughly $3.7 million on the tax relief program for veterans and seniors over 65. We feel like that appropriation is pretty close for this coming year, but we may ask for an additional $200,000 to go with the $3.7 million. But once we meet our deadline for applications, then we'll have a better idea as to what it is going to cost for the ensuing year.
And Trustee, we get asked a lot of questions about who sets those parameters. Can you take a moment and explain how those parameters are set?
The tax relief is a state program, roughly. And what we do is whatever the state pays, thanks to the mayor's office and thanks to you and the Metro Council, we double what the state pays under those programs. The income level is established by the state. It's done based on a median income throughout the state. So we are governed by the state of Tennessee as to how we should administer these programs.
Great. Talia, can I turn it over to you?
Yeah, I just would like for you to kind of speak briefly on, there are several pieces of legislation pending at the General Assembly right now, particularly around relief for veterans.
Right.
And I know you have been monitoring that very, very, very closely.
We've had a battery of trustees throughout the state of Tennessee that have been up there almost daily the last couple of weeks. and we're going to be up there this afternoon. What they're trying to do, and which we're okay with this, as long as the seniors are taken care of along with the veterans. But what has happened, or what is happening, there's a piece of legislation up there that will take the value, it will go from $100,000 that the veterans are paid on to $175,000. I think probably that will be amended down to about a $140,000 for the value for the veterans. The seniors, their value is now $23,500. We're hoping that that can go back up to $25,000. So, and based on the $25,000, they're paid on 25% of the $25,000 times the tax rate. Same way with veterans, they would be paid on 25% of $140,000 times the tax rate. So the veterans, as well as the seniors, will get a bump in their refund or their credit toward their tax payments.
Thanks.
Okay.
Rich, any questions?
I guess just, Charlie, there's 3 weeks to go before the deadline. Is there anything that, anything we could do or to try to get the last word out, to try to get as many, or do you think we're already doing, you think we're doing?
Well, we do have meetings set up. We have 2 more sign-ups at 50 Forward at the Madison and Donaldson station. This Saturday, the next 2 Saturdays, we will be out making presentations. But any type of news or any type of media that we could get, it would help us because we are reaching the deadline for these programs.
Always a delight to see you.
Same here.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you for making time.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you.